I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to LidLine Sports, along with my co-host Renault, Pepe Bean, and Lil O Stevenson. There they are. Look at Pep rocking the Brooklyn. We'll get into that.
Pep
Hey,
rocked
you
more
with a
teams than
Brooklyn
I.
hat on. You ain't from Brooklyn.
He didn't rock more teams than I ever know.
Claiming teams now. Otis, what are you talking about?
So he didn't rep more teams than I ever know.
I will give you this though, Pep. That's a nice little.
That is nice. That is nice.
Kind of filthy. I'm with
Thank
it.
you.
I'm with it. All right. We've been gone for such a long time. What's up, Rhonda Dorsey? We are back. Look at this, Rhonda. All three of us together. We had Pep went on a little. I don't know what that was. It was a whirlwind tour of Disneyland. Pep, you went to Disneyland for 10 days?
No. We were in LA.
You were at Disneyland,
we were down in the area.
To go to Disneyland as much as you went to Disneyland. You got stock?
We spent 3 days in Disneyland.
Woo.
One day in Universal, did Peterson Museum, went down to Chula Vista for a day, and watched the Super Bowl at Doreen's brother's house. So it was a good trip. We were down there 8 days total.
3 days at Disneyland. What was Mickey and Minnie talking about?
Talking about buy more stuff.
So I won't get into all that. That's a heck of a long time, man. I told you.
Yeah.
I'm sick of
yeah.
Disneyland. I don't care if I ever go there again. But yeah, that was cool. So Pep was on a whirlwind tour of Southern California and amusement theme parks, and Otis was too scared to do the show by himself, and I had things I had to do. I was busy. Anyway, it is good, Rhonda. It's good to be back, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot going on. Off the top, college basketball giving us a March Madness preview over the weekend as the top 6 teams ranked 1 through 6 all bid it over the weekend. Did any of you guys see any of those games? Gonzaga lost at St. Mary's. I saw that. Well, a good 10 minutes of it.
I saw it.
Arizona lost to Colorado. That's the biggest upset of them all to me.
Yeah.
Auburn lost at Tennessee. Purdue lost at Michigan State. Kansas lost at Baylor. And Kentucky lost at number 18, Arkansas. So those are all road losses of the top 6 teams. Anybody got a comment on any of that?
Honestly, I mean, I know St. Mary's is Gonzaga's rival, but that has to be the biggest shocker of the day. But not even more of a shock. I just think it tells a lot about where Gonzaga is at this season. And, they took in a few losses in the non-conference schedule. They are not head and shoulders above the competition like they have been over the last couple of years. I am not surprised. I will not be surprised if I don't see them get to possibly the Sweet 16. I just think, like I said, that loss and just how they lost, St. Mary's dominated that game from the tip-off. They have a lot of gaps where if Drew Timme can't get going, they can't find somebody. They can't just find easy buckets like a lot of these top teams can. So I'm definitely you're a Gonzaga fan. You're definitely a little worried with that loss to St. Mary's.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the games, to be honest. I'm kind of out of touch with college basketball right now, but I need to get back in touch because, March Madness
is about to be March,
right around the
like
corner.
Tomorrow. It's March Madness, baby.
For real.
It's been a fun season.
So I'll be paying more attention in the coming weeks. But I will say that I heard on the radio, I was hearing about Baylor and their struggles. So, because they struggled against, who'd they play against the other day? I forget. But they the game, but they played them before and got blown out. So I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of interested in seeing what Baylor's looking like coming up.
I think Baylor's without one of their best players. I forget who, but I know they're out a big player though.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start paying more attention to college basketball going forward, so we can talk intelligently to our audience about what the heck is going on with college basketball.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
you're the NBA guru. You know everything about it, about the NBA. We'll get to you a little later. But yeah, I feel like the college basketball landscape is setting up nicely for a good March Madness. There's parity, a lot of parity in college basketball now, and so no game is a gimme. And now, these are all two conference games. It's hard to go on the road and win in conference. And especially sometimes you go on the road and you'll play a team you know you can beat. And it's hard to get kids up to play teams sometimes against teams you know you can beat. And so you get upset. And so you got to treat every game the same. And like I tell my team, we got to respect our opponent, regardless of what their record is. I remember during our season, Chief Self came in on our senior night, and we had to do all we could to win by 10 points against them dudes, because two of their dudes got red hot. Like everything they threw up was going in. Then I saw them dudes play the next game. They couldn't hit the side of a barn. So it'd be like that sometimes. And so
yep.
Just a quick question. So I posted last week. I have been watching glimpses of this kid, Jaden Ivey, of Purdue, and he has become my new second favorite player. Well, Colin Welp is my favorite college player because I coached him. Okay, so let's throw that aside. That's my MVP college player. Second college favorite is Paulo Banchero because I coached against him. Okay, now, of all the dudes I don't know playing college basketball, Jordan Ivey is my dude. Have you watched him play?
Yep.
He is a walking highlight. Like every time, I have never watched the full Purdue game all season long. I turn on the TV like when I'm getting dressed and I got to go or whatever, and a Purdue game is on, and I'm watching while I'm getting dressed or doing whatever. And every time I see him, he's doing something spectacular. And it's not just dunking, but he has some spectacular dunks. But he's just so athletic and so gifted. And I really like that kid right there, Jordan Ivey. And so check him out during March Madness. He's going to put on a show for sure. And so my question to you guys, well, I don't know if I should ask this question because you guys haven't been watching college basketball, but do you have a favorite college player?
I have been tuned in. Favorite college basketball player
that you don't know?
Yeah. Oh man. I definitely like.
Yeah, that dude is good. He's really good. That dude can go.
The guard out of Wisconsin. Man, I can't think of his name right now.
In the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That much you can't remember his name, huh? I put you on the spot though. That's my fault.
Jonathan Davis, number one guard out of Wisconsin. I think he possibly will be Big Ten Player of the Year. Big guard, can score at all three levels. Plays hard, fits right into the Wisconsin mold. I think that also Wisconsin will be a team that possibly can make a Final Four run. They have everything from a big to great coach to, like I said, a P.T. Peer and Jonathan Davis. But I really like him at the college standpoint level. I think he's a really good player and he's fun to watch.
All right, Pep.
No, I don't.
You just might as well just say Terrell Brown.
There you go.
Because you like him.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because that's the first name that came to my head. So yeah, let's go with TB.
Yeah, because he's
like, good reason.
He's like fifth in the nation in scoring.
Yep.
Right. I mean, he's phenomenal to me though. I'm going to confess this right now. I had no idea that. I mean, he didn't show this at Arizona last year.
I mean, you can go even further back.
What'd you say?
I say you can even go further back to just high school, and then like his ranks of even going through junior college, and then
Well, he averaged 21 in Seattle U, so you knew he could score.
Okay, so high school.
Yeah, but on the
big
Power
level
5 conference level,
I hear you.
he didn't do that at Arizona. But watching him this year, I'm amazed at the variety of shots that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, and it's almost to the point now where I've watched enough Husky basketball games where I'm like surprised when he misses sometimes. Because like everything he throws up, a lot of times it goes in, even though when he throws it up, you don't think it's going in. And I'm like, he made that.
And then that's what even makes it even more kind of impressive is like if somebody who's coaching against him, you know what he's going to do. He is getting to the basket.
Yes.
So you would think you'd want to give up the jumper, but he still finds a way to get to the basket and the free throw line.
Yeah. And if I'm the opposing coach, first of all, I'm doubling him and making him give up the ball and then get it back. That's the first thing I'm doing. And then trying to force him to shoot outside the 3-point line. And all that's easier said than done, but I definitely would try it to see. And I'm surprised Pac-12 teams have not tried to actually do that. I have not watched one game where I saw anybody try to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
But he's very savvy too, with the ball and around the basket and defensively.
Yeah.
I think he's in top of the Pac-12 in steals as well. It is all about that work around the Dorsey. He has put in a lot of work, and shout out to his uncle.
Lavelle.
Yeah, my namesake. We spell it different, but Lavelle is my middle name. Lavelle Brown, his uncle. Give a big shout out to him, former Garfield star legend. The Huskies play UCLA tonight at 8. And so after the show, I'll be tuned into that. You're shaking your head, Pep?
Well, you know what the outcome's going to be. I mean, as long as Terrell gets his, I'm cool.
They're at home.
They're at home, so they could actually win.
Make it a game.
Come on now.
They've been playing all right over the last few weeks. They have.
Well,
besides I think a blowout here and there.
They beat middle of the road teams. They can't beat any. They don't compete against the good teams.
Yeah.
But middle of the road teams, they've been beating middle of the road Pac-12 teams. But when they get up and play Oregon, Arizona, UCLA, they're getting blown. All those games have been blowouts. And so we'll see going forward. All right. To the NFL, Pep. Catch us up on what we've been missing, what we missed out on. Wrap that Super Bowl up for us if you can, and give us the latest. I like the shades. Thank Doreen for the nice little background and everything you got, the landscape photo thing you got. You with the program now. You're looking really spiffy over there. Man, Doreen, thank you very much. She's your art director and your stylist. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, all that. Plus my IT and my navigator, my road dog, all that. Yeah, so anyway, the NFL season has come to an end, and congratulations to the Super Bowl 56 champion LA Rams beating the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20 in a pretty good, entertaining game that the Rams pulled out with just over a minute remaining. With, of course, a little bit of controversy, with the Bengals getting 3 straight penalties to extend and advance LA's game-winning drive. Of course, there was a holding call that was, it wasn't suspect, guys. Eli Apple when he held Cooper Kupp just before the touchdown. Was that a hold, or was that kind of like something they should have let go?
I think even the play before that, I forget what the linebacker got called for the defensive interference. Man, I think that was like a play that was like in the second or third or first quarter. I don't think that would have been called. So I I'm just not big on referees being tight on their whistle when the game has to be decided. Uh, and I just didn't think that that call had to been made right then and there. I didn't like that call.
Yeah, well, I thought the first one needed to be called because it was a legit hold. The second one, I didn't think it was. The one on Cup, I didn't think it was holding.
Right. Yeah, I agree with both of you. Yeah. So anyway,
you agree with both
Cooper
of us,
Kupp
but me
did
and O
catch
disagree.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, I agree with the first one that should not have been called, and I do think the second one was legit. However, it was so borderline that it would have been okay if they had not called it. So,
okay. Well, I thought the linebacker
in my
legit grabbed
in
him.
my eyes, so
I thought the linebacker legit grabbed him and impeded his progress, and then on the second one, he barely even.
We see
well, that
He
was the
just grabbed a piece of
we
jersey.
see plays like that throughout the whole game. No, that's my thing. Maybe it was a penalty. Like I said, I just at that point in plays.
Yeah, but you see him throughout the whole game. But when you do it right in front of the referee, it generally gets a flag.
Agree to disagree. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one.
Either way it goes, they gave him 2 holding penalties, so
Yep.
they were destined to score a touchdown.
Yep.
That was very helpful.
Yeah, and they started on what was it? It was like a 90-yard drive.
It was
right?
a long drive
to start the fourth quarter. I mean, start that game winner. So, you got to give it to LA for doing that. Matthew Stafford finally came through. So, he threw that 1-yard touchdown to Cooper Kupp to win the game. Well, to take the lead rather, to go up 23-20. But statistically, the game was close. First downs, LA won that 18-15. Total yards, 313 yards to 305. LA won that. And in time of possession, LA barely got that with 30 minutes and 47 seconds of possession, where Cincinnati had 29 minutes. So there's no real real domination, let's say, by either team as far as that's concerned. Now, the Rams did have 2 turnovers, which usually it means that whoever turns the ball over usually loses. However, this was not the case, as LA took advantage of their red zone opportunities. They were 3 for 3 in those, and Cincinnati was only 1 of 3. And of course, in teams like LA, Green Bay, and and Tampa, and those kind of teams, you can't miss out on opportunities to get touchdowns when you're in the red zone. You can't, in Kansas City too. You can't just settle for field goals, because that could be fatal. And unfortunately for Cincinnati, even though they held a lead most of the second half, not being able to score a touchdown when they were up 17. What was it? I think it was up. They were up 17-13 or 10. Excuse me, 17-10. It could have went up 24-10, and they failed to do that. And when that happened, I had the feeling at that point that there was going to be a shift, and LA would come back, and that's exactly what happened. They had home cooking, which the NFL probably loved. But let me tell you, I was down in that area, of course, as you guys know, and we alluded to earlier, during that time, and there was not a whole lot of excitement, that I could tell, that the Super Bowl was down there, and that the Rams were participating. I saw a couple of, Grow Rams signs on buses and whatnot, but there was no real feeling of, that the Rams were getting the home cooking. Because if the Seattle Seahawks, let's say, had home field, you would know it. I mean, as soon as you hit the airport, you would know it. But not here, not down in LA. It was totally different.
Were you in Inglewood?
I'm sorry?
Were you in Inglewood?
No, we were staying in Glendale, actually.
Yeah, so you're out in the burbs. So it's a little different. Like in Inglewood and around the stadium, they had like block parties every day. So if you're probably in the city, in the heart of it all, you probably had a little bit of different experience.
Yeah, perhaps. Hollywood, it was cool, but even in Disney, you've seen a few jerseys here and there. And actually, I saw one Cincinnati jersey the whole time I was there. It was pretty interesting, and like I said, alluded to before, if you guys remember, before the Super Bowl, I said I wonder if if there was some kind of disappointment that LA that the home team was there, because instead of having two teams to come in to the city and bring energy like that, and more money, of course. Whereas because if it was just LA and Cincinnati, only out of towners were from one team and not the other. So I don't know, but I just didn't feel that energy down there. But you're right. I did know about those parties, G, you were talking about in Inglewood, because I knew about the free concert that they were having down there. But yeah, we chose not to participate. And of course, they had an incident where there was some shooting. So for our well being, I'm kind of glad we didn't go.
Yeah. That's just one incident. They have shootings every day in LA, so it's one incident.
Yeah, but to be honest, I enjoyed myself down there. LA seemed cool. It was nice. So
of course you
I had no
enjoyed yourself.
problem.
You
Weather
went to
was
Disneyland
beautiful.
3 days, 3 times.
Huh?
Of course you enjoyed yourself. You went to Disneyland 3 times.
Well, yeah, but that was the latter part of our vacation. I mean, the first part we were, up in LA, and so we were up there for the first 4 days, 3-4 days. So yeah, and then we went down to Chula Vista. So it was cool. I enjoyed it. I want to go back. But anyway, okay. So now that we're totally into the off season, of course, a few things to talk about real briefly. Tom Brady, as you know, announced his retirement. Now he's going to try and turn his attention to Tinseltown, Hollywood. Tom Terrific is set on a new direction for his career. So, good luck to him with that. Aaron Rodgers has split with another fiance. Him and J-Lo seem to be neck and neck on breakups. It seems like they're making it a fashion now, but he wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. And I don't know. I wouldn't make him the highest paid quarterback in the league if I were Green Bay. And Green Bay probably can't if they wanted to, because they're like $40 million over the cap for this season. And plus they have to deal with Devontae Adams' situation. So that would make it kind of difficult for both of them to get paid, I would think, unless they have some tricks up their sleeve that I don't know about. I'm kind of thinking that Aaron Rodgers probably doesn't even want to be there anymore. He's just making it easy for them to kind of try to work out a deal or something. But he also doesn't want to be the bad guy, because he doesn't like the bad press, as you could tell. He seems like when he gets railed on social media, he gets kind of upset, and he's always got to have some kind of a reply, or try to make it seem like, well, this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, whatever. Or he goes on some broadcast and tries to he just tries to explain himself, I guess.
He got you flabbergasted.
For lack of better.
Yeah. Got you flabbergasted.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Who cares about Aaron Rodgers, man?
So we'll see.
Get out of here. He's a clown.
But I mean, he's lost his last two big playoff games, the NFC Championship year before this past game that he's lost, and both at home. So why would you think that somebody was going to pay you to be the highest paid quarterback when you can't win in the clutch at home?
Yeah. Well,
If
he gets traded, what has he got? 1 year left on his contract?
Yeah.
So he'll get traded.
And Devontae is a free agent.
He'll get traded, and somebody will pay him $50 million a year.
Somebody will.
So that's the way that goes.
Yep, definitely.
If they pay Kirk Cousins, they're paying him.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, that's it for now.
Okay. before we go to break, let's talk about this situation with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball owners, the association, whatever it is, they have threatened to lock them out if they don't reach a deal by midnight tonight. And there will be no games for 30 days. That is the threat. Is that a real threat, or are they just a lot of bluster? I understand that they are at the negotiation table at this hour. And so it's 10:25 Eastern time. So at midnight, that's supposed to be the lockout if they don't reach a deal. Thoughts?
It's really unfortunate. I think baseball players want more power and leverage, just like I feel like the NBA has always been a model for that. And it's just unfortunate that owners and the Players Association can't come to a common ground. I am a little nervous that this lockout may occur, and I think that this MLB season will be possibly pushed back, and they are going to lose some games on the calendar. And owners at the end of the day are going to lose money regardless, or at the end of the day anyway. So I don't know, but I do think it's imminent, because last thing I heard was that the sides are far apart.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to know what the main narrative objective is. For one thing, Major League Baseball is the only major sport that does not have a salary cap.
Pep.
And
I don't mean to cut you off. We got to go to break, but I want you to know that is the main objective. They're going to try to trying to force them into a salary cap situation. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Thank you for listening on Rainier Avenue Radio .world, Facebook Live, Twitch, YouTube, and all of our podcast platforms, and also Twitter. All right, we'll be right back right after this. Don't go away.
I go to work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate. I make miracles happen.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African-American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
Welcome to the coronavirus pandemic.
I'll take coronavirus for 100. Fever, chills, shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell. What is staying home and isolate? Correct. Coronavirus for 200. Inability to stay awake, persistent pain or pressure in chest, trouble breathing. What is seek immediate help? Correct.
Coronavirus for 500.
Crippling and potentially dead infectious disease eliminated in the United States with vaccination.
What is the polio vaccine?
Correct.
I'll take coronavirus for 700.
The Daily Double. Should I take the coronavirus vaccine? Wait. Hold up. This is not a game. It's time for serious discussions. We have coronavirus vaccines, but not everyone is comfortable taking them. Here's the facts. Based on what has been proven about vaccines for other diseases, COVID-19 vaccine may help keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get the virus. Getting vaccinated also may protect people around, particularly those at greater risk for severe illness from COVID-19. We don't yet have all of the answers. Get informed, talk to your healthcare physician, and make the right decision for you. This is a message supported by the Washington State Department of Health.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
Hey, this is Duke, your host of Monday Night Sports. Make sure to tune in next Monday night for a very special live show featuring Seattle Times, former Seattle Times columnist Steve Kelly, along with Hall of Fame writer David Dupree from USA Today. And we'll be talking more about the lack of black coaches in the NFL. That's right here on Monday Night Sports next Monday.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
I go to work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate.
Hey, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome back to LidLine Sports, along with my co-host Renault, Pepe and Otis Lil O Stevenson. A big shout out to Keith Dillard, Michael A. Carter, Nancy Conyers, Bill Walker Jr., and Andrew Schroeder, and Brad Kojima, and everybody else who's listening on the variety of different platforms. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Where are my partners?
I'm right here.
There they are. Lil O to the NBA. I know you've been chomping at the bit for a few weeks now to get us caught up. You got a lot to talk about. Hit it.
Yeah, man. A lot has gone on over these last few weeks. But to start at the top, the biggest was the trade deadline. After what we thought maybe would have been a quiet trade deadline, it got real loud in a matter of a few days before the trade deadline hit. We started hearing rumors about James Harden possibly wanting out of the Brooklyn Nets and maybe some friction between him and the other big three. And boom, Daryl Morey made that happen and ended up in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia was finally able to get Ben Simmons off their hands after not playing all season and asking for a trade to start the season. Everybody has gotten what they wanted in this situation. Brooklyn was also able to get Seth Curry and Andre Drummond to also fill in some weaknesses they also had. But this is definitely more about James Harden. And now asking for a trade 2 times in 2 years. And he came out and said in his first press conference after being traded that he said his first option after leaving Houston, or when he asked for a trade for Houston, he said his first option was Philly. Now, I don't know if that has more to do with wanting to play with Joel Embiid and the fit there, or if it's just a really tight relationship he has with Daryl Morey. But, we were starting to hear rumbles after James Harden and the Brooklyn Nets were trying to get a contract extension going in. And, James Harden was pretty adamant about wanting to be a free agent, but still telling Brooklyn they had nothing to worry about at the same time. We always know that there's smoke. When there's smoke, there's always fire. And this all came about. And this is really going to be an interesting situation. I actually like the fit for both teams. I like Ben Simmons getting to play with 2 savvy scorers now instead of 1. Not having to rely on him at all, in my opinion, really for scoring. I think he can now focus on doing what he does at an elite level, which is being a playmaker, finding guys like KD, Kyrie, but the Seth Currys and Patty Mills. And also, I think we all kind of forget he is, in my opinion, the best on-ball defender in the NBA, which is what Brooklyn has not had since they've had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So I like the fit. The question is, and what it has always been, though, with Brooklyn, can they all get on the floor at the same time? That was the issue with James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, and even Kevin Durant and Kyrie. So we know Ben Simmons is still out. Kevin Durant is close to return. And Kyrie, at this point, still can only play away games, but that could be changing soon. But yeah, I just think.
Wait, Ben Simmons is out?
Yeah,
he's playing. Yeah,
he's back sore.
Hurt?
I guess so.
How'd he get hurt? Playing spades?
I don't know, man. They come up with so many things for why these guys don't get on the floor.
He hasn't even played all year. How could he be hurt?
I don't know. The only thing that should be stopping him from getting on the floor is, I guess, getting his cardio up and getting in game shape. But the only way you can do that is by playing. So
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I mean,
And
even if it's small minutes, right?
yeah, just like any other star player when they come back. But I believe he's healthy. They play the Philadelphia 76ers not next week.
So is that the real reason why he hasn't come back yet? He wants to wait till after they go to Philadelphia.
I don't know.
And then suit up so he doesn't
I
have
don't
to face
know.
the crowd.
That's gonna be a good one if it does
He's
happen.
mentally weak, so I figured like if they face each other in the Eastern Conference playoffs, then he's going to have to go through that anyway. So wouldn't you want to do it right now rather than let it fester and then have to deal with all that through 3 or 4 games in Philadelphia?
Yep. And then on top of that, I mean, there was already rumors about, not wanting to, having issues with the Philadelphia 76ers fan base and how they treated Ben Simmons. So, yeah, this should be like the time you want to get right back at him, if you ask me. So, I like the trade for Brooklyn. I do like the trade also for Philly as well. I love the combination of Joel Embiid and James Harden. The only thing I'm still questioning to see, both of those two have not made it to the finals separately or with other star players on their team. So what is it going to be like to see those guys in playoff moments? We've seen James Harden be inconsistent in the playoffs. We've seen Joel Embiid have moments even last year in the playoffs, even though he did dominate. But they both had moments, and they don't have a third option unless you want to count Tyrese Maxey, who's playing really well this year, or the boy you guys, don't really mess with.
We're not counting Tobias Harris.
Couldn't even say his name. So they are banking and going all in on those two to dominate the playoffs. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they can. But yeah, who do you guys see going far? Who won this trade? Going further?
Well, right now the winner has got to be Philly because James Harden's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Simmons is not. So we don't know what Ben Simmons will do with Brooklyn right now. And, I'm not confident in the foreseeable future of what he will be able to contribute because to me, he's still mentally not there. I mean, he's not ready to play. He says that there's back issues, but really, how are you going to have issues like that when you haven't played all season? And when the trade came about, how can you not be ready right now? I don't understand that. I mean, I'm not a professional athlete, so I really don't know the ins and outs of behind the scenes. But I just can't fathom him still not being able to play right now, and we're into March. So right now the winner is Philly. Now Brooklyn did get some good pieces, with Seth Curry, who's a good shooter, teaming up with Patty Mills, who's also a good shooter, is struggling mightily right now. But I'd rather have him struggle right now than later on. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But so that's my little 2 cents on that.
All right, that's a valuable 2 cents. I think that eventually the winner will be Brooklyn. And can you recap the actual trade and who got what?
So the Brooklyn Nets got Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and a future draft pick, I believe. And then
so they got Ben Simmons, DeAndre Jordan,
Andre Drummond,
even better, Andre Drummond,
yes,
and Seth Curry,
yes,
and a draft pick,
2022 first round draft pick and a 2027 first round draft pick. Philly got Paul Millsap and James Harden.
What?
Yeah,
Paul Millsap, he was good once upon a time. But I don't know about now. And all they got was the beard for all that. That Brooklyn's got to be the winner in that trade.
Yeah.
I mean, because
eventually they will be.
Yeah, they'll eventually be the winner. And then, like you said, the jury is still out on whether James Harden and Joel Embiid will be able to play together over the long haul. Because everything's cool in the beginning.
Yep.
Right? But as things progress and Joel Embiid wants the ball and James Harden's going between his legs 75 times, it might get a little dicey. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Brooklyn.
Yeah, like I said, and all in all, though, both
So
teams.
let me justify that first. I'm going to go with Brooklyn because, number one, they needed another shot blocker, rebounder. They got that in Andre Drummond. They needed another shooter, especially with Joe Harris hurt.
Yep.
They got that in Lil Curry.
Curry.
Say Pep?
Yeah, Curry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Curry. Seth Curry. And they got draft picks.
Yep.
2 first-round draft picks.
The first-round draft picks are always important, and they're both unprotected. So
Yes.
who knows where Philly will be in 2027?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of getting. And then Ben Simmons will help shore up their defense. And that's one of the main things they needed. They needed a defensive guard, right? And Ben Simmons also can guard multiple players and rebound. So I see that working all the way around. And the only thing that can kill that is Kyrie.
He's killed rosters before, so
that's my point. They might have to get rid of him.
But yeah, now All-Star Weekend is out the way. I don't know if y'all watched it. That might have been the worst All-Star Saturday I've ever seen.
No, but did anybody see the Rising Stars?
Yes, that was fun. That was pretty cool.
How much? I had a game that night. Was Marjan? Did he get some tick?
Yeah, and I think Marjan was more like that.
Marjan Beauchamp, ladies and gentlemen, from the Seattle area. Go ahead, O.
He was like that first time All-Star. Who's just out there enjoying the moment. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it was definitely cool to see him out there, and it shows the potential, and it shows that he deserves to be on the floor with those guys. So. But yeah, I don't. He didn't really put his stamp on the game.
Highlight of the weekend for you?
The All-Star game. Actually, it was pretty cool to see the skills challenge and how they did it this year with 3 different players in one group. They had Team Giannis, which was all his brothers. They had the Cleveland team, and then so on and so on. And Cleveland team won. But I thought that was pretty cool to see. And in the All-Star game, like I said, with this whole new format of seeing how they end the game, it does make it a little more easier to watch.
Did you see any of it, Pep?
I did watch the Saturday festivities. I watched the skills challenge, the 3-point and the dunk. I saw the All-Star game the next day. Do we have to mention anything about the dunk contest being the worst ever? I mean, that was wow.
You should mention it.
But see, I think the dunk contest starts with, and I don't know just how the stars are nowadays, but it starts out with having actual popular players in the dunk contest. It starts off with having all-stars in the contest. Can't just
that's the thing. It's lacking credible, well-known players to participate, and that hurts. It's going to be whack every time if you're going to have guys. No offense, but I mean, come on, Obi Toppin's not a draw.
Yeah,
he's just
not.
not.
I feel like Vince McDaniel's posted in the LidLine Sports group a very good suggestion. I thought is that they try to get 2 superstars or stars, 2 rising stars, and 2 dunkers from the dunk dudes.
I'm okay with that.
They're professional dunkers.
True.
And make it as Rhonda Dorsey calls it, a showcase.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah.
Rhonda Dorsey said the NBA All-Star game is not a game, it's a showcase. I said they need to label it as such. Because I refuse to watch it until the end of the 3rd quarter. Then I get my little showcase in, and then the game starts in the 4th quarter They're trying to go for that little what they do, the point differential and the first
Yeah,
one to
they calculated a way to get to a final ending, and for the last 2 years, it came down to it being a close game in the last shot. So that's a good part of it.
It's funny. I wish they
The only
would have
part
had a
I didn't
meter.
like.
What'd you say, Pep?
I was going to say the only part I really didn't care for in that fourth quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, the score was like 140 something, I guess, at the end of the third quarter, and they only needed like 20 some odd points to get to the final tally. That's not enough, if you ask me. I mean, first, second, and third quarter, both teams were getting in the 40s. At least make it 30 more points. You got to get, I mean, 20 was nothing. That wasn't enough. It was just ended too abruptly for me.
But yeah, Pep, we live in the load management generation. They're trying to extend that. It's a showcase, Pep. He don't give you 20 points worth of game. So I feel you. I felt it was too short too, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do. I think the NBA and the NFL are in the same boat in trying to salvage the whole all-star experience and make it some type of competition, because it really is not. I tried to watch. I think I was at the restaurant watching like the first quarter, and out the side of my eye, and it was just like worse. I posted it was worse than the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
Yeah,
and so I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, we live in such a different era, Pep. We grew up, Pep. Dudes played 82 games like every year, right? Nobody took games off if they weren't hurt. Nobody rested. And so now guys got to rest, even with all this new technology and science and all this stuff that they got to keep them healthy and strong, and they still got to sit out games. And I think that's the worst thing about it, especially for the ticket holder, and you pay all that money for a ticket to go see a team and its stars, and they're sitting on the bench tomorrow. I got to manage my load.
that BNP rest and load management. Oh man, not shout out to Kawhi Leonard, but shout out to Kawhi Leonard for being a main character in the start of this. Because man, it sucks.
Yes. What is BNP?
DNP.
Oh, did not play.
Yeah, DNP.
Yeah,
DNP rest.
Did not play. The DNP is DNP-CD. That's the one you don't want.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, coach's decision. Yeah, coach's decision.
You don't want that one.
For real.
You don't want that one.
No.
That's the one you don't want.
Well, Kemba Walker knows all about that.
Yeah, he does.
Oh man, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Kemba Walker will not be playing for the rest of the season.
And what's up with Dennis Schroeder?
He's playing in Houston. They're gonna keep him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with him in free agency. But yeah, in the words of G, All-Star Weekend is over. The real season begins, and some headlines that I wanted to keep an eye on, and for our fans out there, you guys keep an eye on. Number one, we can't run from it. I mean, we talk about it every week as well. With AD being hurt again, another long period.
6 to 8 more weeks.
Yeah. Is it really possible that the Lakers do not make the playoffs, guys, especially after we just saw that atrocious effort in La La Land, in the crypto arena? Atrocious. Is it really possible? Is it?
So
it's
Pep.
Yeah, definitely possible, probable, and I'm hopeful they do not make the playoffs. I don't want to see them. Ain't nobody want to see them in the playoffs, man. Please. For what? Man, no. If they're out, if they're booted out, I'll be more than happy. Super happy. Sorry, G. I know that's your squad, and but man, come on, man. Please.
I said
the Lakers are a mess.
I said
they're yelling at the fans and whatnot. Come on, man. Sheesh. Give it up. But this is on Frank Vogel now, right? Because you got guys out, But now we got to see if he can coach. That's always been the question: is how good of coach is Frank Vogel? If he leads them back into the playoffs, then okay, then he's good. But gee, you're shaking your head, and I don't blame you because I don't believe in him either. But this is his time to really prove something. This is coach's time.
Man, I have to quote King Jeffrey Joffer of Zamunda. Do you remember when he came to America and found out Hakeem was working at McDonald's and he caught me in a hot tub with the chick? And he said,
yeah,
how did this come to such a pass? Man, it's the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, I said the NBA season does not start till after the All-Star break. And I must confess that my Lakers are hot refuse. Not even garbage. They're the whole refuse station.
Oh, man.
I mean, man, they are a laughing stock. I'm like, how they could become a laughing stock? Losing to the Pelicans, down by 32, losing by 28 at home, cussing out fans fighting. What in the entire hell is going on in LA?
DeAndre Jordan got
lost.
DeAndre Jordan got what?
He got waived today. I'm pretty sure that was after that horrid pass. I don't know if you guys see. He tried to dribble the ball past half court and try to launch the ball to the corner, and it flew about 30 feet over his teammate's head. I'm pretty sure Jenny Buss walked into the office right after that and made that call, tell him to clear out his locker.
I mean, I feel like two people need to go. Frank Vogel and Rob Pelinka.
Yes. And I want to ask you that. I understand Rob Pelinka's work and as an agent and what he's done. Why is there not much more scrutiny for what he has done as a general manager?
I don't know. What's going on with Rob? I mean, I felt like he got I felt like he got the job because he was Kobe's agent to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had been, so him and Magic fell out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Magic left, because he felt that Rob was trying to get his job.
Yep.
And wouldn't wait. Magic didn't want to stay forever in that position, but he wanted to get them to a chip. The squad that was put together for them to win the bubble chip was Magic's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that he's in there, and they've given him so much power, it's up to Jeannie Buss, to get him out. And I understand she walked out of the arena last night in disgust. Mm-hmm. Well, she should have walked right up to Rob Pelinka and said, "You got to go and take that coach you hired with you." Because something has to change, and somebody needs to be held responsible for it. And like, this is the worst it's been since the early days when Brandon Ingram and
the young guys, Kyle Kuzma,
and the young guys who I couldn't even watch. They were unwatchable. And then when LeBron brought back some respectability, and then they ended up winning the championship in the bubble. And I can't believe that everybody wants to blame LeBron because he's the one that went out and wanted to get Russell Westbrook, but that's only one player.
Yeah.
Right?
Every other piece made no sense besides Malik Monk was the only solid pickup that was made, in my opinion.
You are correct. And so, riddle me this, Pep. Why would you? And I know he's hurt and he's injury prone, but why would you get rid of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and what's my man's name? Played for the Bulls.
Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso. Why would you get rid of them when you know good and well you won the championship because of your defense?
Yep. Bingo.
Right? Now they couldn't guard an NBA team if they had a one of those caskets full of AR-15s from across the border.
Well, what happened to Avery Bradley?
He's not playing Avery Bradley. He's the
That's
thing when
what,
I watch
that's
Lakers,
what I'm saying.
when I watch Lakers, every time I watch Lakers, they got a different starting lineup.
Yeah. There's just no
Yeah,
fluidity.
they got Austin Reeves starting now. Really?
Yeah, just no fluidity when it comes to your lineups. Are you going to play it big today? Are you not going to play it big? How's the rotation with the guards going to be? Is Russ going to play in crunch time? Is he not going to play in crunch time? It's just a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. And they need somebody to come in and say, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
But
if we're going to lose, we're
But
going to lose.
Trevor Ariza and Avery Bradley are known for defense. And, so I don't understand what's going on there.
I mean, I think also they're in their latter years, and having to now ask them to be the night in, night out on-ball primary defender every night.
But you brought them in.
Yes, you're right.
From
You're right.
agency.
You're right. You're right. But that's also to do with because they had no salary cap. That's what they had to fend through.
Yeah. So I agree with that.
And then Kendrick Nunn, he ain't played.
Yeah. Well, I've been waiting for him to come back. But here's the thing. I feel like if they're going to – I feel like he has not established a rotation.
No.
Right? And then with the injuries, plug people in and out of that rotation.
Yeah.
It's altogether a different lineup all the time. Like, you can't –
Yeah, they got no chemistry.
Yeah, you can't do that. Right? You got to say, okay, we're starting Russell, and you got your little depth chart. We're starting Russell. Who's backing up Russell? Is it going to be Avery or is it going to be who? And then who's our shooting guard? And if he's hurt, who's our next shooting guard? Right?
Great.
Who's playing center? And if he's hurt, who's playing center? Who's backing up LeBron? What's our lineup when LeBron goes out? And keep plugging people in like that instead of willy-nilly coming up with all kind of different things. Like, we're playing without a center this time. We're going to make LeBron play the 5 and let him play the 5. And then, no. We're not going to stop doing that because LeBron, that's too taxing on LeBron. Oh, he can do it, but it's too taxing on him, so we're not going to let him do that. Come on, man. Like, They got too many experiments going on, man. And, like, it's really frustrating for me, man, because I really expected them to really do something. And now they're just reminding me of the old Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Lakers with Steve
05
Nash.
Lakers, yeah. And that too, yeah. Yeah, so.
Well, they were just too old to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Another quick things before we get out of here. We're going to see if the Suns can sustain the number 1 seed without Chris Paul, who messed up a ligament in his thumb. They lost 2 straight
sustained
now.
that lead they had the other night.
Yeah, should have. Definitely should have. They're up 6 games right now, the Warriors. Keep an eye on that. And then who's going to separate themselves from the pack in the East? The East is separated 1 through 6 by, I think, 3 or 4 games. So we're going to see who can, make a run and solidify themselves as a real contender coming out the East.
All
and
right,
then
we're out of time. Thank you, that was spectacular.
Yes, sir.
Pep, you got it going on, man. Yes, you do. I'm all thumbs up with you today, Pep. I'm all thumbs up, baby. All right. Appreciate you, brothers, really. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening to LidLine Sports. I'm Granville Emerson along with and Otis Lil O Stevenson. We'll see you next week right here on these same platforms. I'll holla.
I go to work like a doctor when I